Like I told you, forget about debating David Wood. You're not on his level. But anyway, let's take it step by step. All right, hold on.
I would appreciate it if you just deal with the point.
Yeah, I am, brother. I'm going to eat you like.
If you make it a contest of snide remarks, then it's not helpful for the audience here.
With the snide remarks, right. Donny.
Just deal with the content.
Donny, who started with the whining, Donny? Was it me?
Because you are not paying attention and being respectful.
Okay, Daniel, can you stop, brother? Just let's get to the text, man. Let's take it easy, man, which you did not read. You want King James? I'll have fun with King. You want that? I want to go with your preferred translation. Do you want King James?
No, I'm not fussed.
Okay. The Lord your God will raise up a prophet like me from your community, from your fellow Israelites. He's the one you must listen to. Here's the key. I want to see if you even know what the context of 16 is. That's exactly what you requested from the Lord your God at Horeb on the day of the assembly when you said, I can't listen to the Lord my God's voice anymore or look at this great fire any longer. I don't want to die. Now, I want the audience to see that you haven't studied the context. Can you tell me, why did God mention through Moses at this stage that I'm going to be sending a prophet like you because of what they requested at Horeb? Do you know the context of Horeb?
Educate me.
Okay, but just say you don't know it so I can educate you.
No, you can educate me. That's what it means. Go ahead.
That's what I thought. You didn't know, because the request is when God appeared, they didn't want to see God and hear God. They wanted Moses to speak. And now that Moses is about to die, God is assuring them, since you don't want me to speak to you, you wanted Moses, from now on, I will send prophets to you to speak on my behalf. That's the context, but you wouldn't know the context, because what you guys do is you just find a snippet here, a snippet there, and take it out of context. Here it is. So Exodus 20, 18 and 23. And all the people perceived the thunder and the lightning flashes and the sound of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And the people perceived it, and they shook and stood at a distance. Then they said to Moses, speak to us yourself. We will listen, but let not God speak to us, lest we die. Moses said to the people, do not be afraid, for God has come in order to test you, in order that the fear of him may be with you, so that you may not sin. So the people stood at a distance, but Moses came near the dense gloom where God was. Then Yahweh said to Moses, thus you shall say to the sons of Israel, you yourselves have seen that I've spoken to you from heaven. You shall not make other gods besides me, gods of silver or gods of gold. You shall not make for yourselves. So this is what Deuteronomy is referring to. When God appeared on Mount Sinai, they heard the voice. They begged Moses, you speak, don't let God speak, because we can't handle this, we'll die. So then what does God say? Because Deuteronomy, Moses is about to die. He says, now, one more time, this is according to all that you asked of Yahweh your God in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh my God. Let me not see this great fire anymore, or I will die. Now let's continue to see what the context is. And Yahweh said to me, they have spoken well. I will raise up a prophet from among their brothers like you. The context is not about someone who comes thousands of years later. The context here is, now that Moses is going to die and they don't want me to appear to them, they should not be afraid, because I will constantly raise up prophets like you from their brothers, meaning it doesn't have to be from a particular tribe. He will speak to you my words, so I don't have to appear to them. Why did you distort the context?
You're lying outright.
Okay, one more time.
Most of the Christians that I've spoken to believe that prophecy to be a messianic prophecy. Most of them believe.
Wait,
I don't know what is your position,
Donny,
but you're distorting the position clearly.
Donny,
You're making that a plural of a
just
singular
attacked me, said I'm a liar, Donny. He's not being professional. So, Donny, did he not just say earlier, I should debate his position and not care what other Muslims say? Donny, did I hear him say that?
Okay, so what is your position? Is that a mistake? I'm asking your position, Sam.
Why is he now the hypocrite and now calling me a liar?
Sam, I'm asking your position.
No, you didn't. You attacked me. I just told you.
I'm asking your position.
And Daniel, I do want to say, I don't remember. It's been a fast-paced discussion. Plus, we got a lot of people in the chat. But I don't remember Sam ever calling you a liar. Yeah. So let's try to avoid calling each other liars and just engage the text. We can say, I believe you're wrong on this or you're wrong on that, but let's try and refrain from the liar accusation. Daniel, you were saying something, so I'll throw it back to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so I'm asking Sam's position. Do you think this is a messianic prophecy? Yes or no?
No. So now
Okay.
let me explain.
Okay,
You
fine.
want-
I got your position. I got your position.
No,
So
I
this
didn't
is not a
finish my
messianic
point.
prophecy.
Let me finish
This
my
is not a
point.
messianic prophecy. I'm coming to your point.
Can I
And
finish
the point that you
No,
were trying to make.
Wait. No. I can't qualify it. Can you let me qualify it? I know you want to run. Take it easy. It's not a messianic prophecy in that it's not about Messiah. It's about prophets that will arise. That includes Jesus. See, let me finish my point. My point is it's about a train of prophets that will be sent after Moses that includes Jesus, but it's not just about Jesus. So now, can you explain to me what the relevance of verse 16 is with Exodus 20? Address that point, please.
Now, look, the way you're making out this prophecy to mean a string of prophets, the Bible could have just used the plural form of the prophet, of the word prophet. It does not. It just singles out the singular, a prophet in whose mouth God will speak, and word for word, the verbatim words people have to listen to. So this is God is singling out a single
No, you're
prophet here.
wrong
He's
about
not talking about a streak of prophets.
Okay,
The
Dan, you're
Bible could
wrong
have
about
easily
the
used the
singular.
plural form. It does not use the plural form. So
You're
why you
wrong
distort?
about the singular because the context is speaking about a prophet not as one person, but as an office, because the context is about Israel having God's words given to them, but not from God directly. You ignored this part. And by the way, did you not just say earlier to me that I'm being silly and childish for asking you to show me where the Torah is given to Moses? But now you're doing the same fallacy, the exact word fallacy. If it's not plural, therefore it cannot be plural. Be consistent, practice what you preach. No, the singular is simply to affirm that there will be a succession of individuals who will assume the role of prophet. How do I know? Because of this point that you did not address. Please address the fact that God is reminding them what they said 40 years earlier. And now that Moses will die, they won't have to hear from him directly. According to you, that means God left them without a prophetic voice until Muhammad, which is contrary to the context. Can you now address this passage right here? This is the context of 18 here.
Your hate of Prophet Muhammad blinds you, Sam. The reason why you're wrong is God is talking about a prophet like Moses. He's not talking about an office of prophets like Moses. And not all of the prophets in Israel are
Sure,
like
you want to go that
Moses.
route? You positive you want
Not
to go that
all
route?
of the prophets in Israel are like Moses.
You sure
Not
you
all
want
of
to go
them are
that
like
route?
Moses.
Because here it tells you
What
what
is
the
the
prophet.
difference between Moses and the other prophets, Sam? What's the
Do you have an
difference?
answer? You want to let
Go
okay.
ahead and answer. What's the
Right
difference between
here,
Moses
it
and the other
tells you what the
prophets?
prophet. Talk to him over me again. It's okay. All right, go ahead. Talk over me.
Sam, let's throw
I'm,
it to
ask,
you.
I'm asking you.
I'm answering you. It tells you what the prophet like Moses is. He will speak the words of God put in his mouth. It's in front of you, and yet you
What
want
does
me
it
to
mean? What does it mean to be like Moses? What
right
does it
here
mean to
one
be
more
like
time.
Moses?
Okay, one more time. Let me read it. I will raise up a prophet from among their brothers like you, and here is the explanation: like you, who spoke the words I gave you and put in your mouth. And I'm going to give you an example of such a prophet. There's many, but just so to show you, you still didn't answer my objection, and I'm answering yours. But then I'm going to have fun with your claim that Muhammad is an Ishmaelite. You have no evidence for that, but I'll get there. Just wait. So now, guys, you saw it says a prophet like Moses, in that God will put his words in the mouth of that prophet like Moses, so that the people know these words are not the prophets, but God. Here's an example, more qualified than your prophet Muhammad. Here we go. Jeremiah 1, 4, all the way to 11. Now, the word of Yahweh came to me saying, before I formed you in the innermost parts, I knew you. Before you came out from the womb, I set you apart. I've given you as a prophet to the nations. Then I said, alas, Lord Yahweh, behold, I do not know how to speak because I'm a youth. But Yahweh said to me, do not say I am a youth, because everywhere I send you, you shall go, and all that I command you, you shall speak. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you to deliver you, declares Yahweh. Then Yahweh set forth his hand and touched my mouth. And Yahweh said to me, behold, I have put my words in your mouth, just like Moses. See, I've appointed you this day over the nations and over the kingdoms to uproot and to tear down, to cause to perish, to pull down, to build and to plant. So now I answered you. Are you going to answer verse 16, or are we going to do the tap dance?
You just manufactured something here. You just added like Moses. There are two clauses in the prophecy. Two clauses. One is like Moses, and the other is verbatim words. So verbatim words is fine. I mean, we understand prophets spoke the words of God, right? That's fine. But what is it? What does it mean to be like Moses?
Okay, in the context,
that is not verbatim words. There are two different clauses.
In the context, what does it mean? I'm going to play your game because I'm going to show you another verse that shows your prophet is a false prophet.
Before you answer, have a little thought. Before you answer it, I'm telling you, those are two different clauses. Like Moses is a separate clause, and putting words in the mouth of the prophet is a separate clause.
Daniel, I'm going to concede your point so you don't do the tap dance because you didn't answer 16 again. It's now the fourth time I asked you. I'll go with it. Show me in the context here what it means to be like Moses. I'll agree with you.
I'm telling you what Moses did for Israel.
I don't care what you think.
Moses became the prophet
in the context
who established the first kingdom of God, who became the pivotal point
say that here?
to pivotal point, who released
Daniel, where
Israelites
does it say that
from
here?
the bondage and helped fulfill the promises made to
Daniel,
Abraham.
I think he's, and I appreciate Daniel, I appreciate what you're saying, but I think he's specifically asking to make those arguments directly from the context that we're looking at
here, because when
the context is,
let me clarify.
Donny, the context, not all context is preserved in biblical literature, right? Moses, who is Moses? Who is Moses? What is Moses well known for? Moses is known for releasing Israelites from bondage from Egypt and becoming the pivotal point in history of Israelites to establish the first kingdom of God. That's what Moses is.
No, that's not
that is who he is, Moses.
No, that's not the criteria to be a prophet like
you cannot disassociate that success from the character
of
Moses.
Each other. We can have a dialogue.
Okay, Daniel, I understand your point, and I think your point's been established. Let's now throw it back to Sam to respond. Go ahead, Sam.
Two things. Number one, you couldn't show me anywhere in the context of Deuteronomy 18 what it means to be a prophet like Moses. And so I asked you, okay, let's go with it. It's not having God's words in your mouth, which is a lie, but I'll go with it. I'm going to agree with you. You went on a tangent and said, because he did this, nothing that you said is in that passage. Well, now I'm going to make it harder for you. There is another passage that says what the prophet like Moses will have to be like. And then I'm going to challenge you. And there has not yet arisen, Deuteronomy 34, 10 to 12. So now I'm going to play your game. I'm going to go to another context. And there has not yet arisen a prophet in Israel like Moses, whom Yahweh knew face to face, in regard to all the signs and wonders which Yahweh sent him to do in the land of Egypt against Pharaoh, all his servants, and all his land, and in regard to all the mighty power, and in regard to all the great terror which Moses did in the sight of Israel. So now, unlike you, I gave you another passage.
That's confirming my point, though.
No, it doesn't. Let me take it easy. Number one, how did Yahweh speak to Moses face to face? Do you know? No, it's going to bury you. Just be patient, though. How did Yahweh speak to Moses face to face? Do you know?
If you want me to be patient, just speak from your mouth. Don't ask me whether I know, whether I don't know.
How did Yahweh speak to Moses face to face?
Go ahead and speak it out.
Okay. Because now I'm going to challenge you. Get your Quran and Hadith ready. Get ready. I'm preparing you. The way Yahweh spoke to Moses face to face, he appeared on the earth before the Egyptians, Israelites, in a pillar of cloud by day, pillar of fire by night. And not only did Israel see it, they saw it when Pharaoh and his armies were pursuing. They saw a pillar of cloud, pillar of fire, and here it is, face to face, the very words. Exodus 3 now, get ready. I'm preparing you. Show me anywhere in your Quran, Hadith, your Allah appeared to the Ummah in a pillar of cloud, and Muhammad entered the pillar of cloud. Okay, Exodus 33, 7 to 11. So, Donnie, you heard my question, right? Because I'm going to read this. I want him now because he says Muhammad is like Moses. I want
Go
you
back
to
to that
show
passage,
me.
Sam. Sam, go back to that passage.
No, we're going to read this here. No. Get ready and show me. Don't tap this because you keep
Sam,
avoiding my questions.
Sam,
Now
don't try
Moses
to
used to
don't
take the
try to
tent.
moderate the debate. Just go
Now
back to the
Moses
passage.
used to take the tent and pitch it outside the camp, a good distance from the camp, and he called it in the tent of meeting. And everyone who sought Yahweh would go out to the tent of meeting, which was outside the camp. And it happened whenever Moses went out to the tent that all the people would arise and stand, each at the entrance of his tent, and gaze
Ye-
after Moses until he entered the tent. And it happened when Moses entered the tent that the pillar of cloud would descend and stand at the entrance of the tent. And Yahweh would speak to Moses. How? Let's see. And all the people would see the pillar of cloud. They saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance of the tent. And all the people would arise and worship each at the entrance of his tent. Thus Yahweh used to speak, Donny, catch it, to Moses face to face, just as a man speaks to his friend. Then Moses will return to the camp, and his attendant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, would not depart from the tent. Now, Donnie, again, I want you to catch it. How did God speak to Moses face to face? By coming down in a cloud, and Moses entering the cloud and speaking to God directly. And here's the other passage to confirm this. So now I'm waiting. Donnie, let him. I hope he answers one of my questions. Let's see if
Donny, shall I pitch in here? He's
okay,
given
let me
enough to
give you
bite.
this verse. Hold on. Let
He's
me just
given
give
enough
this.
for me to bite.
Okay, let me give
Okay,
you the verse, and then
I
you
can
can.
sink my teeth in right away.
Then Yahweh came down in a pillar of cloud. Let me give this, and then you can comment. And stood at the door of the tent, and he called Aaron and
To say the
Miriam.
least, you're boring, Sam. You're boring. Go ahead.
Okay, let's do this to be fair. I'm going to let Sam finish his thought, and then we'll give you uninterrupted time, Daniel, to
Let's
respond. Go
make
ahead,
sure,
Sam.
Donnie, you're the moderator. Hold him because I'm not going to interrupt. Don't let him go on tangents. This and that. Show me the evidence. Cloud, notice, guys, audience, cloud, pillar of a cloud, stood at the doorway of the tent. He called Aaron and Miriam, and then both came forward, and he said, hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, Yahweh, shall make myself known to him in a vision. I shall speak with him in a dream. Not so with my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. With him I speak mouth to mouth. Donnie, I want you to at least catch it. Face to face, mouth to mouth, meaning directly I appear to him. And not only that, he also sees what? The form of Yahweh. Indeed, clearly, not in riddles, and beholds the form of Yahweh. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? So my question is very simple, Donnie. To be like Moses, we're told that the prophet will speak to God face to face, seeing God in his visible form on earth. Now let him prove to us that's Muhammad. Show me where all appeared in a pillar of cloud. Easy.
Okay, now don't disturb me, all right? You just nailed a gigantic tool in your foot. Now you just damaged the whole reputation of the God of the Bible. You just proved the God of the Bible lied. He never fulfilled it, even in Christ. He did not speak to Christ face to face, let alone the prophets of Israel. No prophet of Israel has spoken to God face to face. You just proved your God, who gave that word in 1818, was a blatant liar. You just proved it.
Now he's blaspheming, Donnie, you see? He can't put now.
Because you're cherry picking. You're proving your
Can you
God
read
as a
Matthew
liar
17,
because
1
you're
of 5?
cherry picking. You're cherry picking
Can you read
information that
Matthew
you
17,
want.
1 of 5? You
And you're
just lied
not
to
relying on the essence of the
you
message in
just
the
lied
Bible.
to the audience
Because the
because here
passage
is
that you no, let me speak. It's my time.
no. You
Sister.
blaspheme God. You said he's a liar. You
Because
confused
you're making God look bad. You're
No, I'm
making
not,
God look
because
bad. You're making God look a liar.
right here,
Because
Daniel,
there's no prophet in
it
Israel
says
that
God
God spoke to
appeared
face
in
to
a
face
bright
other than
cloud.
Daniel,
Moses.
I'm going to jump in and make an informed decision here. I think because, to be fair, because you made that claim, Daniel, then let's allow Sam to at least engage that claim.
Okay. You just lied and saying that God never did that for Jesus or any prophet. I'm going to now bust your lie. Here it is, Matthew 17, 1 of 5. On a high mountain, Jesus transfigured, Moses Elijah appeared. While he was still speaking, behold, a bright cloud. See, that's what you get for blaspheming. The Lord's going to punish you. Bright cloud overshadowed them. And behold, a voice out of the cloud said, this is my beloved son, with whom I won't please. Listen to him. Because you don't know the Quran or the Bible, don't speak with such arrogance.
Hang
Now,
on. So who was God talking to there? Who was God talking to
here's
there?
another prophet.
Who was God talking to? Was he talking to Jesus or was he talking to people?
Yes, Peter James
If God
and
was talking
John.
to people, he still wasn't talking to Jesus. Do you
Peter,
know that?
James, and John. Okay, now Isaiah 6, 1-5.
So
In the
he was
year,
still, your
see,
God still didn't speak to
he's a
Jesus
waste of
face to
time, this
face.
guy. This kid is a waste of time because he's going to keep manifesting. Let me read the passage and then stop your
Because you're
blasphemy.
losing your
I'm going to
ground.
give you
You're
these
losing your
minutes.
ground, Sam. You're losing your ground.
Donnie, how do you want to do this? Because this guy's manifesting, brother.
Okay, let's do this. Let's try and avoid just claims, because then we're obviously going to want to address those claims,
Yep.
Daniel. So let's allow Sam to finish his thoughts. Then we'll throw it back to you.
Yes.
But engage the exegesis and the arguments, because as
Here's
a debater myself, I know when my interlocutor makes a claim or assertion, then I'm going to be tempted. I'm going to have a desire to want to address the claim before we move on. So let's do that. Let's allow Sam to finish his argument. Daniel, will throw it right back to you for an uninterrupted rebuttal. Just make sure you're engaging the argument directly. Go ahead, Sam.
Isaiah 6, 1-5. Here's another prophet that sees Yahweh visibly. In the year of King Uzziah's death, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, with the train of his robe filling the temple. Seraphim stood above him, each having 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, with 2 he flew. And one called out to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is Yahweh of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the foundations of the thresholds shook at the voice of him who called out, while the house of God was filled with smoke. Then I said, Woe is me, for I'm ruined, for I'm a man of unclean lips, and I live among a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, Yahweh of hosts. So again, I want you to see, Isaiah sees Yahweh, Yahweh speaks to him. The cloud comes down with Jesus, and he commands the 3 apostles to obey his son. I can give you Amos, I can give Micaiah, and ironically, your own prophet Daniel, Daniel 7, sees God the Father, Ancient Days, and the Son of Man. Now get to the objection. Did your prophet see your God, Allah, visibly? Did he appear to him?
Daniel, go ahead.
So,
go ahead.
So, Donnie, I want him to go back to the passage in Deuteronomy 34 that he pulled out, which summarizes who Moses is and what does it mean to be like Moses. The passage clearly summarizes Moses is the one who got Israelites out of Egypt from the bondage. And that's the summary. That's who Moses is, who helped establish the first kingdom of God. That's who he is. And a prophet who is like Moses would do the same thing. And you have Prophet Muhammad in the 7th century defeat the Romans and reclaim the Davidic kingdom, fulfilling the long-standing prophecy, historical prophecy. Right. So
stop going to the prophet Daniel.
It's pretty simple.
We'll get to Daniel later. Stay here. No, don't go to prophet Daniel, because that's not going to help you. Stay here. So I'm not interrupt you if you stay on context. When you keep bringing up this prophet, then you're going to force me to cut you off. Here it is. It says,
so look, there's something that you fail to understand. Other Bible scholars have understood, and they want to change the words a little bit. So in the slide that I presented, there were 2 translations. One is NIV, which is a modern translation, and they understand the implications, and so they alter the words. They change the word brethren and make it like from among fellow Israelites. Why would some translator of the Bible go that far a distance to alter the word brethren to mean fellow Israelites? Why? Because they understand the point.
Don't go back to Deuteronomy 18. We'll get there, because I wanted to use Deuteronomy 18. You kept ignoring my challenge. Now you went back. Stay here. Address this first. I promise you, your brethren term, it's not going to help you because you don't know the Old Testament. I'll get there. Be patient. You have yet to answer one question of mine, so I'm going to give you another shot. The prophet, like Moses, will have to know God face to face, and I showed you how. Show us in your chronology.
That's a condition you're cherry picking.
I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. This is a great line of questioning and discussion, including the audience. Reiterate your challenge.
Yes,
Sam, I want to make sure my own notes are as accurate as possible. And then, Daniel, I want to throw it back to you to directly answer the challenge.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam.
Please, Donnie, have him answer at least one of my questions, brother. Seriously, because this is going to be like, you're a liar, scholars. All right, here we go. When I asked him, Deuteronomy 18, where does it say what it's like to be a prophet like Moses? Because when I showed him the context, the prophet like Moses will have God's words in it. No, it's a disjunctive because it has the word and. Okay, then I went here. All right, I'll concede that argument, even though he's wrong. Here now we have, clearly, the prophet like Moses will have to be like Moses, whom Yahweh knows face to face. And I just showed you what that means. Yahweh appeared to him in the cloud. He saw Yahweh's form and spoke to him directly. That happened with Jesus when God the Father appeared. That happened to Isaiah. That happened to Amos. That happened to Micaiah. That happened to Jeremiah. That happened to Daniel. So now, if his prophet Muhammad is like Moses, can he show the audience one Quranic verse or hadith that Allah appeared in a form and spoke to Muhammad directly? That's
Okay,
simple.
I appreciate that, Sam. And I think that's a fair question, fair challenge. In light of what we're discussing here, these scriptures, to be like Moses, the prophet must speak to God face to face, from a cloud, see Yahweh's form. We know this occurred with Jesus, Isaiah, Daniel, so on and so forth. And so if I understand the challenge correctly, where in the Quran does it say that Muhammad fits these requirements?
Yep, that's just
Well,
one.
Donny, I understood that. Donny, I understood the premise that you're setting forward for me to engage with.
Okay.
But it's not as you have stated. The Lord spoke to Daniel and gave the interpretation. No, the Lord didn't do that. The angel of the Lord did that, right? So the Lord did not speak to Jesus face to face. He spoke to the apostles, right? So that, I mean, these accounts are not even true. Like this particular account here in 34, who's speaking this? This is not the Lord of the heaven. This is the scribes. These are
See,
the
I think
sages who are giving that interpretation, and their interpretation is just not face to face. It continues that Moses liberated Israelites from Egypt.
No,
Okay,
no,
Daniel,
full
so are you
interpretation.
basically saying that,
miracles.
are you saying that there's so Muhammad doesn't meet those requirements, but you're saying he doesn't have to because there's an error in Sam's premise, is basically what you're saying.
No,
So,
he said
you're saying,
Because
scribes.
these
go
are not
ahead.
the words of the Lord. These
Oh,
words that
how
Sam
do you
is
know
reading from
Deuteronomy
this
18 is the
passage are
words of the
not the
Lord?
words of the Lord. These
How
are
do you know
the
Deuteronomy 18 is the
notes
words of the
provided
Lord?
by the sages and scribes of Israel.
Daniel, listen to
Their
me.
interpretation.
How do you know Deuteronomy 18 is the words of the Lord? Just because the writer says the Lord spoke, that's the same sage that also wrote Deuteronomy 34. So how do you know in Deuteronomy
Yeah,
18 is the words
sages
of the
can
Lord?
provide notes, and their notes don't become the words of God. Would you
Okay.
agree? It's
No,
commentaries. Those
because now
exegesis.
we go back to my initial argument. See, you see, this is why I get
That's
sick.
exegesis by the
Let's
sage,
go
by the
back to
scribe.
the initial argument, the Islamic dilemma. Did we not just get done saying that you don't know what the Torah is because the Quran doesn't tell you? And you said, well, go to me, not you. Go ask the Jewish scribes. Well, the Jewish scribes say that the entire 5 books of Moses are God's words, be it a scribe who wrote for God or not. So now you're back to saying, well, this is not really the revelation because the scribe wrote it. Who told you that God doesn't inspire scribes to write down his words? So now we went back to the authority of the Bible. So what do you want to talk about? Because I go
Yeah, this
here.
is why precisely you need the Quran. This is
What?
why precisely you need the Quran.
No, no, you don't. You couldn't answer my
This is the
question.
reason. This is the reason why. Because the
Okay.
scribes have inserted their exegesis
Your Quran doesn't say that.
in the book.
Your
All
Quran
right?
doesn't say that. Now, before you change the game, if I need the Quran without appealing to Jewish scribes, because you said I need the Quran, and this is now the 10th question I asked you didn't answer. I'm getting tired.